And it still says 100% unofficial, and it says this is not a game. Like, motherfucker, we get it. We get it, okay? But you're supposed to be able to put that in, and then, like, enable which cheats you want, and then put in the game, and you'll have all those cheats on there. I don't have the game to test it out, but I really want to get the game and just see if that motherfucker works. Ha! Motherfuckers! Okay, it's time for what the fuck that was. I'm really fucking tired of doing this, as you can fucking tell. But I'm gonna finish the goddamn video because we already fucking started it. Part 3 comes out, moving on to PS3. But here is a PS3. First up, Grand Theft Auto 5. Really good, you should play it. Boom, bitch! Okay, next up, Portal 2. One of the best co-op games ever made. One of my favorite puzzle games ever made. And I don't even fucking like puzzle games that much.
That's what you're talking about, the red case.
Yeah, this, like I mentioned earlier, the greatest hits case. Nobody likes these fucking things. They don't look good on anything. They just look like ass. They look like the PS3 making machine just fucked up and got diarrhea and got a bloody asshole and then shit out these fucking cases. That's exactly what this fucking looks like, okay? These cases suck dick. And, okay, you're like, oh, okay, you can just take the slip out and put it in a black case? Nah, bitch, it's red on here too, motherfucker. They fucked up even there. Fucking assholes. But nah, if you haven't played Portal 2, really, you need to play it. Next up, really, another shitty GameStop case. If you're wondering why this is cracked on the top, I actually got pissed off one day and threw the fucking case. I needed something to throw, so I threw this. But this is actually...
Why didn't you throw your fist into the wall?
I've done that before. I got a dent in the wall over there. I got a dent in my wall on the side of my bed because I got mad one day and just fucking gnawed off and his pin.
Hell, Joey got pissed off and put a hole through his door.
Wall. And then one day I got really pissed off. So I walked through the hallway, slammed my hand. I didn't even hit it like head on. I just slammed it like that into the side of the wall. Big ass hole. Put a picture of that in there. But this is actually Lord of the Rings Conquest. And imagine you take Star Wars Battlefront 2 that I mentioned earlier on the PS2. If you've played that, imagine that with the Lord of the Rings skin on it. And you got Conquest. Really fun game. Really good two-player game.
Dude.
This, I no longer have the case for, which it looks really fucking pathetic. But it's Mortal Kombat 9 for the PS3. We actually stuck it in a fucking DVD case because we didn't have anything else to put it in. But nah, it's a really fun game, Mortal Kombat, you know the drill. Next up, don't have a case for it either, but this is actually probably my favorite racing game on the PS3, and that's Split Second. And it's one of the few games made by Disney, and it's a racing game, and it's pretty fucking great. I can't really say much about it. That's a game that I would be more than willing to make a review for if you want to see that. Just great fucking game. Next up, I mentioned in the second part of this video, I had shown off Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 for the PS4. Well, this is actually, and I don't have a case for it either, is Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, the original one. And it's not even that bad. Like, most of the time, the first game in like a fighting series or something is usually pretty lackluster, but nah, this game, it still holds up. It's really fucking fun. I'll definitely put some gameplay of that in here so you can see just what the series is like. It's really fucking cool. Next up, don't have a case for this either, is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2. If you've never played any of the Tom Clancy games, there was the Rainbow Six games, there was End War for the PS3, there was Ghost Recon, that's the most popular one. But Rainbow Six Vegas 2 is one of the best co-op games, I think, on the PS3. Definitely. And it's in my top 5 co-op games for the PS3. Easily. Really fun first-person shooter, really tactical. You have to actually think about what you're doing. You can't just go in guns blazing and shit like that like you can in other shooters like Call of Duty, fucking shit like that. You can't just go in and fucking wreck shit. You have to actually think about what you're doing. But no. I'm really getting... I'm kind of tired, to be honest with you. That's a really fun game. I'm not tired, I'm just kind of tired of doing this. Next up is another shitty looking case. I have a lot of these for the PS3 for some reason. It's FIFA 11. If you played one FIFA, if you own a FIFA game, you own all the FIFA games. They are all exactly the fucking same. There is no difference between FIFA 1 and FIFA 15, bitch. There's no fucking difference. I swear to God, they are all the fucking same. They're really fun. They're really fun to play with somebody else. You could make a really good drinking game out of this game. I can give it that much. Next up, Assassin's Creed 1. People want to give it shit because it's different. Well, guess what I say? Fuck you. It's a great game. You just suck ass. It's a good game. No. It really is a good game, though.
Well, if that's Assassin's Creed 1, and everybody gives bullshit because it's different, well, that means if that's number 1, all the other games are different from that.
Yeah. But no,
It's the original.
Nobody really adopted onto the series and got on board with it until 2 came out, because that's when it really started to come into its own. This game, if you played the other ones first, feels so much different. But I luckily played this one first, so I got to see the big improvement that 2 made. But this game is still pretty fucking solid. Like, you can't swim in the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say why people say it sucks compared to it.
It's just so much different than the other ones. You don't have nearly as much freedom. But the story and the gameplay is still there from the rest of the games. You can't swim in the game, which I agree is bullshit. I will call bullshit on that. But they actually give you a story reason for it, which is kind of interesting. At least they do that much. At least they give you that much. Next up is Modern Warfare 3. I said I didn't play online games much earlier in this video. I kind of lied. I played the shit out of this because this was basically the only game that I ever wanted to play on PS3, because this was around the time when I first actually got online. This was the game that I spent most of my time playing. Played it a shit ton with all of my friends. Really fun game. Next up is a game that just recently got a re-release on the PS4, which I've been meaning to pick up because I think it dropped at like $30 and it's down to like $20 now, which is crazy because it's a great fucking game. Is Bulletstorm. And if you haven't played it, it's a first-person shooter. Pretty good story. Had a really big cliffhanger. Still waiting on the second game to come out. And basically it adds like an arcade kind of system in there to where when you kill, you get like points. And it rewards you for killing people in like crazy ass ways that no one would ever think of. But if you haven't played Bulletstorm, you need to go pick it up. And I mean, now that they re-released it on PS4, just go get it on there. It's fucking great. Next up is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which there was Assassin's Creed 1 and then 2, which I don't have the physical copy of anymore, and I highly regret trading in because that's my favorite Assassin's Creed game. But Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Are you holding the camera sideways? Next up is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. The fourth game in the Assassin's Creed franchise. It introduced the mechanic of having... No, fourth. 1, 2, yeah. No, third game in the franchise. It introduced the mechanic of being able to recruit other assassins' allies and call them into battle, which was pretty much a mainstay for a long time in the series. And then it's not my favorite. My favorite's 2, but it's not bad. Next up is the fourth game in the Assassin's Creed series, and that's Revelations. And if you get this game on PS3, it actually comes with a free download of Assassin's Creed 1, because this game takes Altair and merges it with Ezio, which is the newer assassin from 2, Brotherhood and Revelations. Their past intertwine, and you get to see their whole bigger picture come in. This was the end of the Ezio trilogy, 2, Brotherhood Revelations, and it really ended the series on a high note with Ezio. After that, I think the series kind of went to shit. But this one, 3, is fucking awful. Do not buy 3, do not play 3, do not look at 3. You'll get cancer. No. But no. Assassin's Creed Revelations, pretty good. And like I said, if you get it on PS3, when you put the disc in, it'll actually have a prompt for you to download the first Assassin's Creed game. And it's on the disc. You don't have to have a code or anything. So if you get this, you're getting 2 games, which is awesome. And it's only like 9 gigabytes to install onto your PS3, which is not much at all. Because most PS3s have a 250 to 500 gigabyte hard drive. Next up is a game that I actually haven't played And I used to have Gran Turismo 6, but I got rid of it, which I highly regret. But this is actually Gran Turismo 5 XL Edition, which adds in all the DLC that was earlier released. It's a Gran Turismo. It's not bad. It's pretty fucking great if you like racing games. I don't know what to say about it. I haven't played it that much. This, like I said earlier with Indigo Prophecy on the Xbox, Quantic Dream's first game. This is Quantic Dream's third game. I sadly don't have Heavy Rain anymore because that was another game that I traded in back when we were trying to get a PS4, like I mentioned in part 2 of this video. And they have went on to make some of the best games I think that are out there now. And this was their third game, Beyond Two Souls. And this game has really well-known actors. It has Ellen Page from, most people probably know her from Juno. That's what I know her from. And Willem Dafoe, which he played Green Goblin and Spider-Man. He's in this. Really good actors. Really good motion capture. I mean, they look like themselves in the video game. And I actually got the Steelbook Collector's Edition for pre-ordering it. And it's got Jodie, the main character, on the front. And you open it up. And it's got, I've still got the download code thing in there from when I got all the extra shit. But it's got the game. And it's just a really badass game. If you have a PS3 and you don't have and/or have played Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls, you are severely missing out because those are some of the best games on the console. That's it for PS3. We're moving on to PS1. First up on PS1, I actually have one of the few games that I have remaining from my childhood. Same copy I had when I was a kid. It's Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Neat little 3D platformer. People give it shit now. A couple of my friends do that remember playing it with me. I still like the game. I still think it's pretty fucking fun.
Hell yeah.
If you ever see this game out, it's probably going to be cheap. Buy this and play it. Do yourself a favor. It's fun. It's quirky. It's Scooby-Doo. If you've seen the Cyber Chase movie, it basically takes the story from that but makes it 10 times better because you get to go into all different time periods and shit. You get to fight like dinosaurs, mummies, lions,
you get to actually
samurai.
see the other Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. It's crazy. Next up, this is not Legend of Dragoon, but I have it in a Legend of Dragoon case because that's what my friend gave it to me in. But this is actually Final Fantasy IX, and if you recall from the first part of this video, when I was letting you guys take a look through my strategy guides, I actually have the strategy guide for this game. This game has haunted me for a while because I played it the first time, got about an hour and a half through it, it froze, could not get past it. I went and got it cleaned, I played it a second time, and I got about 3 hours into it, it froze, I could not play it. So I've tried to play this game twice. I've got fully dedicated into the world of Final Fantasy IX twice. And I haven't been able to fucking play it. Haven't been able to get through it because it keeps fucking freezing. I'm about to break down and just buy a digital copy, which I hate doing because I would much rather own the physical or release of games. And Final Fantasy IX isn't even that expensive of a Final Fantasy game because 7 is the most sought after, and for whatever reason it's going upwards of $50 now. For whatever fucking reason. It's not even that good of a game. This game is much fucking better.
What's the difference between a physical and a digital?
Digital is like you download it onto your system.
Oh.
I much prefer to have the physical copies. It's just me because I'm a collector. I mean, most collectors do prefer to have it physical because you actually get to show it off. You actually get to say, hey, look, I actually have this game, instead of be like, oh yeah, it's downloaded. You can't look at something that's downloaded.
Yeah, you can like take a picture of it and show them like, yeah, I got it downloaded right there.
I guess. Next up, I have, don't have a case for it, need to get one, is Gran Turismo 1. And, like I said before, Gran Turismo, simulation racing, that's where it started, PS1. After that, I have a copy of Gran Turismo 2 with a really beat up fucking case that I need to get a new one for. They're all basically the same game. Next, I have a game that I bought not too long ago that I haven't played. And if you're wondering, this is what the greatest hits version of the PS1 games look like. They have this shitty green label on the side. They're not nearly as bad as the red cases for PS3, but they're up there with it. They're still not that good. But this is the original Tomb Raider. I never played this as a kid, but I've heard that it still holds up really well today. I need to actually go through and play through it, see if it's any good.
So that's really how PlayStation 1 games used to be, in a CD case?
Yeah, jewel case, like a CD. Next up, I don't have 1, 2, or 3, but I'm still looking for them. But I have Twisted Metal 4, and like I was saying earlier, most people know this because of Sweet Tooth, the game mascot. He was the drove the ice cream truck, had the clown head on fire on top of it.
Yeah.
Really cool game. This is what...
that game scared shit out of me when I was younger.
This is pretty much what brought vehicular combat games to the forefront of gaming. Twisted Metal 1. Really fucking fun. Even the reboot that they tried to do on PS3, it was actually pretty solid, and that surprised the hell out of me because mostly reboots don't do that well. But between that one and Tomb Raider reboot, those were 2 really good reboots. Next up, another Twisted Metal game, Small Brawl. This actually takes a different spin on the series, and the story behind this isn't like the other ones. If you know what the story is, you know what it is. I'm not going to go into detail. This one actually, there's a group of kids playing together, and like they take all their toy cars, and they're all remote control, and you're basically controlling the RC cars of the kids, which are basically like mini kiddie versions of all the badass looking cars in the other games. And you get to race them around like kids' bedrooms and like sandboxes and shit like that. It's really neat. Not a lot of people know about this game, and I didn't until I found it one day at a pawn shop, and I was like, that's cool as fuck. Next up is really weird. Because as far as I know, this didn't happen with a lot of games, but this is one of the games that it did happen with, and it was a game that got released on the PS1 and the PS2, and that's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 on PS1. I found this at a thrift store with a bunch of CDs, and I was like, I didn't know this came out on PS1. That's pretty cool. So I picked it up. It probably is, I mean, obviously it's the same game as the one for PS2, but it probably just looks a lot shittier. I actually want to go try it out and see if it's actually any good. Next up, oh fuck, the case just broke. Come on, bitch. Next up, again, another game I don't have the case for, which I need to get sometime because the case for this game just looks badass. Put a picture of it up right here. Is Resident Evil Director's Cut, and this was the first game, but it was like a revamped version of it essentially. But this one has a lot of really cheesy shit in it, and when people think Resident Evil and they think bad voice acting, this is the game that you think of. Really what brought the survival horror genre to the forefront between this and Silent Hill. Two of the I don't really like Resident Evil that much as a survival horror because I don't think it holds up that well as being scary. Silent Hill 1, that game still creeps the fuck out of me with all the fucking sounds because there's damn dogs chasing you and shit. I don't have a copy of Silent Hill 1 physical. I have it downloaded digitally just because I wanted to play a little bit of it. And that game still creeps the fuck out of me. This game is just like when you go back and watch like Friday the 13th or The Nightmare on Elm Street or Michael Myers. Like when you were a kid, that shit was scary. You watch it now, it's just funny. Same thing with Resident Evil. Next up, one of my favorite games on the PS1. One of the games that I played the most as a kid. I actually picked this up a while back. It's one of the other kind of not rare, but expensive games that I have. It's going for upwards of $25 now. It is Mortal Kombat Trilogy. And this it also came out on N64, but I don't know many people that had the N64 version, or I don't know much about it. Each version got a playable character exclusive to that console, though, so at least they did something with that. But it took all 3 characters from Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, put them all in a game together, took all the arenas, took all the bosses. You can actually play as Shao Kahn, Kintaro, Motaro, and Goro in this, which are the 4-armed guys, the huge guys, and Shao Kahn, the final boss. You can actually play as them in this game without having to unlock them by doing some grueling fucking task like in the other games. which is pretty cool because if you just want to play against your friends, they can pick like fucking Johnny Cage and you can just be like, not hammer, bitch, and fucking slam their nuts into the ground with Shao Kahn. He's really badass. But if you haven't played Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and if you ever find this game out in the wild for cheap, honestly, this game I would pay whatever they're asking for it. Whatever the going price is, this game's probably worth it. On the back it says this game is on fire. It's on fire. No, this game's really good. This is my favorite Mortal Kombat game, though. Yeah. And that's it for the PS1 games. Next, we're moving on to Wii/GameCube, because I don't have many of each. Edit that part out. For the Wii, I lied earlier and said that the only game I had was Smash Bros. Brawl. I actually have Hot Wheels Battle Force 5. I actually bought this because my little brother wanted to play it.
I remember that game.
I was actually kind of a fan of the Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 TV show that came on Cartoon Network a couple years back. It wasn't that bad. If you think Cartoon Network shows have gone down the drain, they certainly have. But this was when they were still semi-good. This is when they still had some good shows on there. So if you haven't watched that show, I'd recommend checking it out. And next, one of the only games I actually wanted for the Wii is Super Smash Bros. Brawl. If you don't know what Super Smash Bros. Brawl is, it is basically a genre mix-up. It takes a bunch of the most famous Nintendo characters and puts them all in a fighting game together and basically fight in an arena.
It's the damn best game I ever played.
Yeah, me and Bubba Spit actually sat down and played through that in one night. It was really fucking good. This game actually introduced Sonic, which was a Sega character, and Snake from Metal Gear Solid, which is one of my favorite game franchises, and they were actually in this game. So that was a welcome entry, welcome addition to the series, in my opinion. But no, a lot of people want to hate on Brawl, say that Melee for the GameCube is the best. I really like Brawl. I don't think it's bad. That's it for the Wii games. I only have two. GameCube, somebody actually give this to me. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Don't know much about it. Never played it. Don't really give a fuck about it. Next up. This one is actually one of the most loved GameCube games, and that is Super Mario Sunshine, and that is actually one of the reasons that I actually do want to get. Don't have the case for it, sadly. We'll get it at some point, but that's one of the main reasons I want to get the hookups and a controller for my GameCube, is so I can play this fucking game, because I've heard so much good stuff about it. I played it a couple times, never beat it, never actually sat down and got invested in it, but I want to so badly. And that was actually a gift from a friend. And then the last GameCube game I have is actually a WWE game, Day of Reckoning. Somebody gave it to me. Don't know much about it. Don't expect it to be good. If it's good, I'll play it. If not, I'll keep it anyway. Next up is actually the only PC games that I have. Give me just a second. I only have 3. I don't collect for PC. I don't play PC that much. But this one, I found two of these in pawn shops, and I actually bought one of them. The first is Q*bert, and that was you know what Q*bert is. It was back in arcades back in the early 90s, late 80s maybe. They re-released it for PC. It's supposed to be good. Haven't played it yet. This game I actually thought was really neat, because I didn't know that this was ever even made, but this is Sonic and Knuckles collection, part of the Sega PC collection evidently, which I'd never heard of until this. But it's Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles all put in one. And it says on the back that it comes with a free Sonic screensaver, which actually sounds pretty cool. But I found this and I was like, is this a Sonic game for the PC? Because I didn't know that that was a thing. But evidently it was. And then next, the one that I actually bought is the Elder Scrolls Anthology, which combines Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, Elder Scrolls Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. And for Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, it adds all the DLC, everything like that. And for Morrowind, you actually get a game editor, so you can go in there and put shit in the game that wasn't actually in there, which is a cool thing for PC games that I really love. And it comes with a map for all of the game's worlds. Back there on the back, it's got like 8 or 9 discs in there between all the DLC and everything. It's a really cool little set to have. My current PC can't run it. When I get my PC fixed back up, my good one, it can run Skyrim just fine, so I know it can run the rest of them, and I'll get back to playing that. And this, like I said earlier, the only Genesis game that I have is Mortal Kombat 2, and here's the case. I actually lied, I don't have the manual for it, but I still have the receipt. That counts for something, right? But no. Only Genesis game I have, actually got it boxed, which is nice. I don't like loose carts that much. And lastly, we have my handheld games. We're almost done. Thank fucking God. But no, there was actually a console that I forgot to include earlier, and that is my Nintendo 3DS. Picked this up a while back, found it at a pawn shop, $80. Didn't want to pass it up, so it was a big hit out of one of my checks, but it was worth it. It's just the regular base edition. It's not the XL, and it's not the new 3DS, so it can't play those new 3DS only compatible games. But I really like it. I only have 2 3DS games at the moment. I really need to beef up my collection. It's the Flare Red color variant, which I really like. And yeah.
Blood red.
Yeah, kind of. But that's the only console that I forgot to mention in part 1 of this video, which I apologize for.
And we're already on part 3. What are you talking about?
And then in here, I don't know if you can see this very well because it's got a faded label. It's actually Contra 4 for the DS. That game actually goes for upwards of $15 now. I actually found it for $5 at a pawn shop, so I was really happy. I have Pokemon White version for the DS, loose cart. It's Pokemon. Generation 5. Actually, White had a very, very good story. Very big fan of that one. And then next, to finish off the loose carts, I have Mega Man Zero, one of the harder Mega Man games on the Game Boy Advance. I have Pokemon Emerald, which goes for upward of $25 to $30 now, which I just like to name out some of my more expensive games because it makes me feel happy. Nothing else does. But Pokemon Emerald, one of the coolest looking carts. And then if you get Ruby and Sapphire, they're blue and red.
I didn't ever like the colored Game Boy games.
I do. I think they look cool. And then Namco Museum. Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Dig Dug, and Galaxian are on that.
You should let me have it.
Really cool arcade games. It's really cool to play on the Game Boy. They actually ported it very well. And then Pokemon Gold, the last Pokemon game that I have. One of my favorites. One of the best Pokemon generations. Still need to get a hold of Pokemon Heart Gold or Soul Silver, the remakes for the DS. But I'm not paying they go for like $25 to $30 now, and I'm not paying that.
50.
No, yeah, never mind. They go for $50. Next up is, for the 3DS, I bought Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker. This was like the limited edition set, I guess you would call it. But it comes with a music CD with like 4 tracks from the game. And this is actually just a box. I have the case over here. I'll show it in just a second. But it actually comes with a music CD that comes with a couple tracks from the game and a couple, what do they call it? They call it a decal set, which actually has some characters from the game on it. And basically just stickers that you can put on something. If you don't know anything about the game, which I don't blame you for, it's not a very well-known game. You won't know what any of this shit is. But it's pretty cool for them to add something like this, especially into something like a 3DS game that doesn't get very much coverage. But I thought it was pretty cool. I found that limited edition for pretty cheap, so I thought, why the hell not? Bought it from Walmart. They were actually charging the same amount for just the base version of the game. So I was like, if I'm going to get it, I might as well get the limited edition. But that's actually that. That's the box and everything. Just the loose box. And then down here, I have the actual case for it. If you ever played Persona, that's really good. That's a really popular JRPG franchise. It's part of that same series, Shin Megami Tensei. I'm not going to go into depth about that here. Super Mario 3D Land, the other 3DS game I have, really takes advantage of the 3DS's 3D capability. One of the few games to do so. Really good Mario game, really good 3DS game. If you have a 3DS and you don't have this, you're missing out. Next up for the DS is Elite Beat Agents, which is a rhythm game. It's not that bad, but it's really fucking hard. I suck ass at rhythm games. Maybe that's what it is, but I cannot play that game. It's too fucking hard. If you like rhythm games, it's really neat. It's got a bunch of songs ranging from like the 80s to the mid-2000s in it. It's wide-ranging music, actually. Next up, to finish off the DS, is Drawn to Life, which is actually kind of like a side-scrolling platformer with elements of other games in there. But everything that you use in the game, essentially, your character, any vehicles, you actually get to draw them out, and you actually get to play with what you draw in the game. It's a really neat concept, and I wish they would have did more with it. I wish they would bring that back on like the Switch or something, because that would be really cool. Next up for PSP games, I have Wipeout Pure, which I actually picked up a few days ago. The future, god damn it, Bubba. Next up, PSP games, Wipeout Pure. I actually picked up a few days ago at the flea market. Same flea market I got the GameCube from, if you recall that from part 1. Futuristic racing game series. Never played a game in the series before. Hoping this one will be good. Dissidia Final Fantasy, which was the... yeah, even my little brother likes this, and it's a Final Fantasy game, but it's a fighting game inspired by Final Fantasy with all the Final Fantasy characters in it. They actually made like 2 or 3 of these games. See that shit? See that shit? The PS3 just cut on again.
Fuck it.
See what I mean?
Hell no.
I'm burned, dude. Burned. I hope you recorded that. But no, here's Dissidia Final Fantasy. Fighting game that takes all the Final Fantasy characters and puts them in there. 3D fighting game. It's supposed to be really good. My brother says it's good. He's played it. I haven't got around to playing it yet. I think even Bubba played this for a little bit. We were taking a shit one day or something.
Yes, I like that game.
I want to play something. So he played this, and he was like, yeah, it's pretty fun. So if Bubba and my little brother can get into this game, I think I can too, because pretty much anybody can. And then lastly, I actually have a loose disc of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, which is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII, which is a really good RPG. For a little bit of technical difficulties, we're going to have to rush this now. I mean, this is the last game we have left. But the other phone we were using, the fucking thing actually died because we've been recording for so long. We've been recording for like 3.5 hours. You people do not fucking stand. This is going to take like 6 to 7 hours to fucking edit. And I'm going to put Bubba through that shit. I'm going to have to come over one day and do it with him at least. But... fucking iPhone camera died. We had to switch over to this one. Sorry for the bump or drop in quality, whatever the hell it is. But, like I was saying, I have a loose disc of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. If you have a PSP and you don't have Crisis Core, you need to go get it. It's a great RPG. Next, Final Fantasy Tactics. It is a strategy RPG, kind of tactics-based, grid-based, move around, you fight fucks, do all kinds of that shit. I don't really like it. I don't like tactics-based RPGs that much. I think they're pretty shitty. This game is supposed to be really good. I don't really like it. I bought it. I regret buying it. Nah, I don't regret buying it. That. Get a shot of all that shit.
Damn.
That is my fucking game collection. No shelves. Had to put all this shit in the floor. Had to pick it up piece by fucking piece and talk about each one at a fucking time. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this, watching this, because I really did enjoy making it. It gave me something to fucking do for 3.5 to 4 hours. It was really fun to do. It was a little stressful, I'm not going to lie, but please, please, for the love of video games, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Be sure to leave a comment talking about any fucking thing that you want to talk about in this video, outside of this video, any fucking thing. I don't care. Leave a comment down below. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you really enjoyed this video, go check out some of my other videos. I don't give a fuck. Go check them out. Go check out somebody else's videos. Just watch YouTube. Do something. I don't fucking care. But, no, go check out Bubba's channel at least, because he is the one that edits all this shit for me. He is the one that helps me do all this shit. My channel wouldn't be a fucking thing without him. So be sure to go check him out. His link will be down in the description. My friend Justin, if you remember that from 2.5 hours ago, me talking about him, his YouTube will be down in the description. Be sure to check everybody out. Let's help this out. Fuck. Can't believe this video is finally over. This was the longest video I've ever made. And, oh yeah, my brother, the one that I was talking about playing Halo 3 with, and fucking Dissidia Final Fantasy, he's actually got a YouTube. I'll put it down in the description. Go check his videos out if you want. That'll really help him out. Really low subscriber base, just like me. Probably got more than me, actually. But anyway, like, comment, share. Please share. That'll help me out a lot. Subscribe if you want to. I'll greatly appreciate that. And let me know any feedback that you have in the comments below. As always remember, dreams are never that far away. And I'll see you in the next one.